So in need of planting, but you can't plant in mud. Plants can't breathe in mud, at least not in the beginning. Oh my goodness. Oh, and there's so much water in here. Okay. Oh, good grief. What am I going to do with all this water? My flower garden is, oh my goodness, I'm going in. So this kind of gives me an idea of how the water's going to move through the flower garden. It's laid out, there are things popping up. I did intentionally till a ditch around the perimeter where the soil is not as good, just to kind of direct some of that water off the middle of it, because last year it was just, you know, going from top right to bottom left, which is the down slope. You can see the big collection of water over in that corner. Well, hey there, Kay here on the homestead. I am checking in after the first big onslaught, the first big deluge this morning, and thunder and lightning and all the wind, and so I got most, if you saw that, I got all the plants off the front steps onto the front porch with about 4 trays inside. And I thought, well, I better go and take a look and see what things look like out there on the driveway, because that's where I have another 100 plants or so. And oh wow, there's the sun. Isn't that crazy? Okay. So I am going to hop on my 4-wheeler and go down, because my neighbor reminded me that these really bad weeds, when they pop their seed heads, I'll have this thing everywhere. Forget the name of it. And so he said, you got to dig them out. I said, well, I can't do that today, but I'm going to go down and just cut the tops off. I'm going to go do that, and then when I was going out, I discovered that there's a ½ an inch of water. I guess my garage floor goes a little bit like that, because there's a ½ an inch of water just from the door straight back to the kitchen. And so the cats couldn't even get to the litter box if they wanted to. So I put down some cardboard. I got a beach towel for the door. I'm going to have more beach towels for later. It's going to be much worse later. So I'm just checking in. Stay with me. We're going to go down and check out the garden so far. I saw way too much water down in the corn. Oh my gosh, I can tell from here that there's a whole big, all that corn. I worked so hard getting that corn planted. I think a lot of things are going to have to be redone. The anise hyssop is housing all of the cicadas are taking shelter. I guess because they know that the anise hyssop is very strong. potatoes are a little beaten down, so are the strawberries. I've got a stream going down beside my driveway on both sides. My neighbor's driveway looks a little wet. Wow. There's a foot of water there. On the other side of the road. Which just means that there's so much water it can't get underneath the road to go down to the river. Okay, so these are the thistles. And it just looks like there's one that's got one bloom on it so far. But these will be everywhere. And ooh, yeah, those are hazardous. So I'm just going to cut those off. I thought, well, this will be a brilliant idea. I'm not going to have time today to, you know what, it's going to take 2 hands to do this. Okay, but I'm going to use my rice knife and just chop the tops off and then come back and dig them up later. And look at this one, the blooms go at every joint. There's going to be blooms. So I'm going to have to get down here pretty soon. The cicadas are everywhere. What's even worse is all of this. This is poison hemlock, and it's about to bloom as well. Some of it is blooming. That all needs to be cut ASAP, but that's very hard to cut. That's one of the most deadly things in the garden. Yeah, a lot of water is coming down through here, as it always has, but it's not any worse than it has been in the past. I think that little bit of grass protected the sunflowers and the beans. I wanted to show you something I found. Some kind of bug got in there and did some damage. That whole branch, look at that glob of, it looks like crystalline glob. That whole branch is dead. Looks like the loofahs are, oh, there's a swallowtail butterfly. The loofahs, looks like most of the loofahs are still okay. Look at all these sunflowers and other flowers that have come up. I got a little carried away with the seeds. Probably going to have to thin that out. Of course, all of the middle was perfect, not a weed, but they're coming up. Not too much flooding in here. But over here, oh yes, right where I put in the peas, there's a stream bed crossing over and going down around the corner. Down here. Wow. Oh yeah, the bottom part of the corn got washed out. Oh my. That's heartbreaking. It looks like that whole third row probably got washed out. And look at all that dirt down in the yard. That good soil. Oh boy. It's going to be a lot worse tonight. This is what happens when your garden is not level. Even a slight slope like that gives the water a chance to wash out. More, if I'd had hay that day, could have protected the corn better. Over here, this is my yarrow bed. It's mixed in with clover, but all of that is just solid yarrow. Solid yarrow and clover. This is the widow's cross. It's so beautiful. It just lives right on top of the rock. That's a big, solid, exposed rock right there. Yeah, I could see that stream from my house, all the way up there from the windows. I could see it. Look at all the coreopsis now. And there's more widow's cross because that's a rock, you know. Coreopsis is beautiful. And maybe when it's done, there'll be something else pretty. Let's check out the flower bed. It's a bad weed, you gotta get that out. Persimmon tree looks like it's coming out of a small shoot at the bottom of the stem. Oh boy. Wow. Well, the best soil was in the middle. That's where all the manure and hay was. So I guess if this runs off and it runs down there, then I'm not losing too terribly much of the good stuff. You see, a lot of the flowers have popped up. I'm sure some of that's weeds. Oh, that I can see that right there. That's crabgrass. But I'm not going in there. It's going to be slick. Oh my goodness, look at all this. Look at all this soil that's washed down here. Oh, I spent good money for that manure. Yeah, it kind of bottoms out right here before it gets to that section. Anyway, if this was the only garden I had, I would make it perfect. Blueberries are going to be ripe pretty soon, and I don't have them protected. I bet that was seeing some action earlier today. There's the runoff down there. Okay. I wanted to show you the peach trees. There's quite a bit of peach drop, but there's still quite a bit of peaches on there. I only sprayed them twice, so I don't know how it's going to go. A lot of blackberries over here. Excited about that. There's my hay.